Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to this next part of the beautiful chord series. Thank you for coming back to check out this lesson. For today I wanted to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to show you all three of my favorite bar chord voicings. So these are going to have no open strings in them, so they're going to be movable around the fretboard. And they're basically going to be two kind of major 7 type sounds and then one minor 7 type sound. And these are just really lush, full sounding voicings, and I use them all the time and I think they sound really killer. So I wanted to show you guys these voicings, and hopefully they'll be as useful to you guys as they have been to me. So let's get started on the lesson and take a look at our first chord. Okay guys, I want to mention before we start on this first chord that all of these chords will sound really, really good with some gain too. The way the chords are made up with the notes that are in the bass, it's a very strong chord to have gain with. So these do sound great if you're going to be using them with some distortion. So at any rate, first chord is going to be a major 7 but in second inversion, so it sounds really, really powerful. So here's what we have going on. Ring, and this is going to be E. We're going to be in the key of E for today, so E major. So we're going to have ring, 7 of the E, pinky, 7 of the A, middle, 6 of the D, and then pointer is going to bar from the D string down at the 4th fret, and I'll show you why we start the bar at the D string in just a sec. So there's the sound we get. Okay, the root for this is played with the pinky. Let's take it up to A, down to D, so very pretty. Okay, now something cool you can do, just as a little side note, is you can take the middle off and then back on. Okay, so it gets a really nice sound. Okay, so that's a very pretty voicing. Okay, so next up we're going to move on to a major 9 chord, okay, and this is this might be my favorite voicing for a bar chord. This is just absolutely beautiful, and kind of a pre-warning, this is a little bit tricky, kind of a challenging chord form, but nonetheless it sounds really, really good. So here's the form we're going to have. We're going to have pinky 5th fret of the low E, and then that's just going to kind of mute our A string. Okay, then the pointer finger is going to bar at the 2nd fret from the D string and then on down, so D, G, B, and then E. Okay, now we're going to have ring finger at the 4th fret of the B, okay, and then middle finger at the 4th fret of the high E. So just to go over this quickly, we're going to have pinky 5, and then pointer at 2 of the D, ring 4 of the G, pointer at 2 of the B, and then middle at 4 of the high E. Okay, so a little bit of a confusing chord. This is definitely going to be a good challenge. But here's the sound we get. Okay, one of my favorite voicings. Let's take that up to D. The root note for this is from the pinky. Down to C. Back down to A. And you can also take your middle finger off and hammer on too. So it's a major 9 chord once again, so in this case an A major 9. Let's take that up to E. Okay, I found that voicing a while back and it's kind of been in my arsenal ever since. I just think it's such a nice sound, so hopefully that's really usable to you guys. Let's now take a look at the last chord for today. It's going to be a minor 9. And it's based off of this chord. I'm sure most of you guys have played this before. Okay, that type of open voicing. We're just going to turn it into a bar chord. Okay, so let's go all the way up basically to the 9th fret. I'm going to do a full bar with the pointer finger. Okay, so all 6 strings. And we're going to have middle at 11 of the A, pinky at 13 of the D. G is going to be barred with the pointer, going to have ring at 12 of the B, and then the high E is going to be barred with the pointer, and we're going to get this sound. take that down to F sharp. Minor 9 in this case. And then back up to C sharp. Okay, so there is the 3 voicings. I think all those are just really, really stunning voicings. I love to use those. Let's go over those one more time. So starting with the first chord, the major 7 in second inversion. Take that down to D. Okay, let's go to A major 9. Now let's go to F minor 9, F sharp minor 9 in this case, all the way up to C sharp minor 9. Let's go to A major 9 up here, A major 7 actually. Okay, so just kind of moving those voicings around in no real order, just kind of getting comfortable with them in one key. You can start worrying about, progressions and stuff and using them in progressions a little later on. I just recommend, for right now, just getting comfortable with the actual fingerings, especially that major 9 chord. That's kind of a tricky one to get the fingers around. So just one more time quickly. That first chord was a major 7, second inversion, next chord. Was a major 9 just in root position, and the next chord is a minor 9 in root position once again. So hopefully those chords are usable to you guys and can spur on some new ideas. They're obviously very big, kind of lush sounding voicings, and once again they do sound really good with some distortion on them as well. So yeah, there's 3 of my kind of favorite bar chord voicings. Like I said, I love to use those. They can especially give some new inspiration if I'm looking for a nice chord, if I'm composing or something like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this lesson and found these voicings usable. I'll see you all back here next week for the next lesson. Thanks so much, everyone.